In this video, we will discuss Honeywell's Aerospace Software Data Service, or ASDS, which is available through your My Aerospace web account.
Jarrett, first of all, I appreciate this opportunity to bring you guys up to speed on what's going on with respect to software and data distribution. Um, we've made a lot of progress trying to put together a quality product, and so far our customers have been highly successful in pulling down data. So let me share my desktop here. Okay. So I have about 30 minutes to walk through this. So because of that time, I'm going to kind of hit the highlights of where things are and how you can hook up and what kind of offerings are available in what we call the Aerospace Software and Data Service, or ASDS. And so what you're looking at right now is the My Aerospace sign-in screen, and I did that because I wanted you to understand that when you get into My Aerospace, you can hook yourself up to ASDS, and that's how customers would hook themselves up, is that they would initially come into My Aerospace, and as you can see over here to the right, that says Software and Data Services ASDS, and it's right on the front page of the My Aerospace portal. And if you don't have that square up there, it's easy to find if you just go to Account to Manage My Account. Why isn't this working? So when you hit Account and Manage My Account, okay, here it comes. So you'll see your account, you'll see your name. You may have to give it a few seconds for it to populate itself, but these are the items that make up the squares on your My Aerospace account. And if you don't see ASDS, then you scroll down to Available Options, and ASDS would appear in your available applications. And you just click on Get Access, and in a few minutes you'll receive an email from the ASDS team telling you that you have access to ASDS. All right, and that's how customers would link up as well. So if you get questions from customers, hey, how can I get electronic downloads of software? Tell them they have to come here first, and then once they've established a username and password, then they're good to go. All right, but once you click on ASDS, this is the sign-on screen. There's a lot of pre-login information in here that you can get to. Updates, you can get a lot of information regarding data that you're looking for. There's links to the INDS website. You can get your nav and EGPWS production schedules, product information. There's a few tools in here that are helpful. We get a lot of good feedback from these tools. Flight information, documents. So there's some, and that's just relating to nav. So if you go to EGPWS, you get the same type of data back and forth between nav and EGPWS. If you're not familiar with what EGPWS files are, those are primarily terrain databases. So over here, if you just click on Sign In, once you've got your username and password put together for ASDS, you just click Sign In. And if you're already logged into My Aerospace portal when you want to go to ASDS, it's just a single sign-on. So once you've logged into My Aerospace portal and click on ASDS, you'll automatically get access to ASDS. And when you come in, you'll see a broadcast message, and in this case, JetWave. We've implemented JetWave, and I'll show you what that looks like on ASDS. When I say implemented, we offer files that help support JetWave. So this is the landing page that you'll see when you come into ASDS, and you may not see everything in here. You won't see the software library because admins deal with the software library, so you may see something different when you come in. But basically, this is what it looks like. And down below, you'll get the same type of information that you could see on the pre-login screen. But basically, customers, when they come in here, they're primarily focused on the View My Downloads area. And when they order electronic delivery of data or software, they would order that through ASDS, or they would order it through the portal, and then they would let us know what their usernames are, and then I would entitle them, or our team would entitle that username to see a part number. Um, so I'll kind of walk through that a little bit. When I say order on the portal, it's only those things that are orderable through SAP. If we have other things ordered outside of SAP like nav, terrain, GSE tools, then those have separate ordering points, and I can provide that for you after my presentation here. So this is what you look for in the My Downloads area. Right now you're looking at nav databases, which are these are the part numbers, these are the nav idents that represent different geographic areas throughout the world. And then if you click on terrain, you'll also see terrain databases that have to do with different EGPWS units, like this is a Mark 5A and Mark 5 and Mark 7 and so on. And then Epic iNav. If your customer has an iNav sign-in screen, you'll be able to get to your eCharts that would help support your eChart need for your aircraft. E2 right now is using eCharts, and so their eChart offering is under the iNav tab. If you use RCDs or AMIs, which are customer configurable databases, then you would see them over here. And then the software library, which is really our giant repository of data. And this is all the pre-release data that you might find in Team Center. When engineering goes to release data, it flows to Team Center, and our team grabs the sellable data items and software items and loads them into the software library. And they just stay there until they're needed, and then they're entitled to customers who come through and submit purchase orders for those particular part numbers. They also have a previous version drop down, so if you want to see the previous versions of in this case it'd be a nav database, and the reason why nav database is right here under software library instead of up here, for purposes of helping E2 production and Wittero, we have located the nav database in here until we work some of the kinks out in nav database. So here's the drop down where you would go and click to go ahead and download your product. These little stars represent favorites, and so if you're familiar with the favorites concept, if I want to select a group of part numbers and I want to save them because I'm building a set of software and data that would get loaded on a serial number that's coming through production. In Embraer's case, this is how they would do it. They would just click on the favorites, and they would create a new favorites list. Let's say the serial number is 3125, and they would save it. That would save it to their favorites, and they could click on as many as they wanted to and click it and save it to whatever name you want to. And then anytime somebody would come in here, say a production worker would come in and they want to load data onto their aircraft coming through production, they would just click on favorites, and then their favorites is right here, 3125, the serial number of the aircraft, and I have one part number that's saved for that. And that way they don't have to do any thinking. Somebody that is involved in planning can come by and save a group of part numbers for a specific purpose, and then the production worker can come by and grab those part numbers without having to worry about if he's getting the wrong part number or not. So what we're doing with ASDS is also building an environment, and we call it the E library. As a matter of fact, the software library is going to migrate to this name as well. It's going to be called E library, and this environment that I'm not going to show you today, but I'm going to talk to it, is an environment that the customers can actually use as their environment and load into this environment the software that they want to support their aircraft. It may or may not be software that Honeywell is licensed to distribute, but it's something that the customer has purchased maybe from another company, maybe from another vendor, and they could upload it into their own environment to help support their aircraft services, their production lines, uh, whatever they want. They can use the Honeywell eLibrary as their tool to help support their customers. And so that's coming forward, and that should be available here probably within mid-year. We should have an announcement that that's ready to go. Let me jump back to my landing page. There's configurable software. Customers come and they can configure their own software for eGPWS. They can configure an AMI. They can configure JetWave files. And I mentioned JetWave in the beginning. There's a configuration file called an APM that also helps to configure JetWave. So if you're supporting a customer that needs a JetWave file, that's obtainable here in ASDS, and they can just walk through and fill in the data. The tool will actually contact the JetWave engineering group to help build their APM, and then it'll be distributed in My Downloads once it's complete. So, and the same goes for AMIs and RCDs for eGPWS. They're all configured the same way, where you would help define what it needs to look like. It'll be built by engineering, and it'll be released in Team Center and distributed through ASDS. Okay. So emergency locator transmitter. So this is mainly Airbus. They typically purchase these, so we configure them, and the software is configured through ASDS as well. If you support a customer that uses ELTs. All right. So really that's the high level of what we're working on today. And there's one last thing that I wanted to touch on that's really not yet part of the ASDS product and it's a service called MCT, which is called the Media Conversion Tool. Today, if you're not aware, our highest volume media that we ship out today is not CD, it's not USB, but it's floppy disk. So 3.5 inch floppy disk. We still distribute more of than any other type of media. It is an obsolete type of media. We cannot buy any more. We have a lifetime buy of that product, and it's quickly reducing in size for our lifetime buy. And the product that we're getting to use has a high failure rate, and that failure rate is escalating. So we produced a tool called the MCT tool, which would allow floppy formatted data to be copied onto any type of media, like a CD or USB or PCMCIA card. And we've produced that, and we've tested it on different benches, loading data up using different types of media with floppy formatted data on it, and we have not had any failures. We're very happy with the tool. We're still a little bit hesitant to just turn it out into the aviation world without inviting key customers to use it on a limited basis to see how they like it, to get any feedback from them, so that we can rest assured that there's no issues with copying different types of media onto, or different types of data onto different types of media. So we're happy about that, and the MCT tool probably will be available for customer use sometime this year, probably third quarter. For E2, they have the option of using a DLM-UW, which is really a wireless piece of hardware that goes in their cockpit. And what that does is it allows customers to come in and load in data using like for example, an iPad. And that iPad can hook up to ASDS, and they can wirelessly download software from ASDS using an iPad. So that product is available through Honeywell. It's not widely used yet, but it's gaining in popularity. The E2 has that option, and we're supporting them through that. All right. If there's nothing else,
Okay, then I think this is it, Brian. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
For additional assistance, please contact us at our web portal.